Hello. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Fully Charged Live USA. We are here in San Diego, California. Who's having a great time? A woo woo. Can I get a woo woo? Yeah. Can I get a raise the roof? Raise the roof. But we got raise the roofing going on all over here. My name is Jessica Kirsh, and I am a YouTube live streamer. You got it. Right now we are live here and we are live here. So you are able to actually see yourself in the audience right now if you go to my YouTube channel. My YouTube channel is my name, Jessica Kirsh, right there. And you're on live TV now. Anywho, I'm totally honored to be here in San Diego and be a part of this convention. This is absolutely amazing. Full disclosure, this is my very first time ever giving a talk in front of people, ever. So thank you for being here and witnessing it. I normally stand behind a camera for about 16 hours per day, and I have a live chat going. So my talk is how Elon's multiplanetary mission might make life on Earth better. I would like to change that to how Elon's multiplanetary mission is making life on Earth better. And I don't want to disappoint Elon and misquote any statistical information, but I am a firm believer that if we weren't going multiplanetary, people might not be as inspired as they are today. Let me just tell you a quick backstory here. I was never into, okay, so I should tell you this first. So I live in Starbase, Texas, or I live in Brownsville, Texas. Does anybody know where Brownsville, Texas is? Yes, show of hands. Okay, on the border by the sea, Brownsville, Texas. Right across the Rio Grande River. Sorry, I keep going in and out and in and out. Right across the Rio Grande River from Mexico. And what is being developed down in Starbase, Brownsville, Texas? Does anybody know? Show of hands. He knows. What is it? The Starship. Yeah. Anybody else know about Starship? Yeah. Oh my gosh, there's so many people. Chat. Look at this. Let me show. I'm going to show the audience. Here we go. There we go. Okay. Yes, 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 yes. So people know about Starship. Is there anybody that is not familiar with the Starship program? Oh, we've got one. And you just, she's like, no, man. Okay, well, that's okay. Not everybody knows. And that's part of the reason why I live stream about it, okay? So let's do this. So we got people over here. Y'all are in the shot. Say hi, future selves. Yeah, there we go, there we go. Okay, so you can see right here, this is a picture of me. It was a cold day in Texas. Didn't know South Texas got cold. Who would have known? It was freezing cold. I've got a dust mask on. Sometimes I wear safety goggles because it is a construction site. It was freezing cold, and behind me is the Starship launch site, okay? So I'm standing on public property. Do you see where I am in that picture? You see behind me, you can see, it's kind of hard to see, but there are some tanks. That's called the Ground Support Equipment Orbital Tank Farm, okay? That's where the fuel is held, part of the fuel, for the rocket, for the Starship rocket, like this gentleman said with the Tesla hat. On the other side, we have the rocket booster. Does anybody know what the rocket booster is called? Anybody? Anybody? The what? The BFR? Yeah, actually, yes, that was the original name, BFR, Big Falcon rocket, right guys? And now it's called Super Heavy, because it is super heavy. It is actually, this rocket, the booster, and then the Starship on top is the largest, most powerful rocket that will ever fly even more than SLS. And it will be able to deliver the largest payloads ever in human history. And this is a big deal. Here's why. We're taking humans back to the moon. The last time, when was the last time that we went to the moon? Does anybody know? What year? When? 73. I think it was 1969. Is that correct? 77. 72. Okay, I stand corrected. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you so much. Okay, so 1972 you said? Okay, sorry, Elon. Thank you. And NASA. Thank you so much. Anyways, it's been a long time. So we are going back to the moon. NASA has selected SpaceX to have Starship deliver humans to the gateway on Mars. Anyways, and that's not really what Starship was built for. Starship is built for taking people to Mars. This is a huge deal, and it's something that's been super inspiring to me. If you follow me on my channel, I speak about all kinds of stuff. I speak about space flight. I speak about electric vehicles. I speak about mental health. I speak about basically anything that's going on in my daily life. When things kind of happen in my life, I go live. And it is an interesting ride. It's not for everyone, but let me just drink some water here really quickly. That's nice. So I am a mental health warrior. Depression, anxiety, ADHD, dyslexia, you name it, I've got it. And Elon, if you're familiar with Elon Musk, he grew up with social anxiety and some other Asperger's. He's on the spectrum. And that is inspiring to someone like me. And he is loud and he is proud about it. And for folks maybe that grew up like I did, where I didn't really exactly fit in. I called it hiding my inner nerd. It's been really inspiring. So in 2017, I know I'm jumping around. I call it the Kirsh circle back. My last name's Kirsh. Kirsh circle back. Thank you. 2017, I was in Phoenix, Arizona. Okay, Phoenix, Arizona, and I was driving to a friend's birthday party. Okay, and I was 2 hours late. Do you know why? Because I had horrible anxiety. If anybody's not familiar, it's pretty paralyzing, okay? It's like a cycle in your head. Anyways, so I'm driving to a friend's birthday party, and I was supposed to be on the road 2 hours ahead of time, correct? So 2 hours late, I'm driving down the road, and I look up, and I see this like nebula-looking magnificent colors and plume in the sky. And do you know what that was? Do you know what that plume in the sky was? Anybody know what that could have been? SpaceX launch. Exactly. That was a launch. It was a stage separation of a Falcon 9 rocket coming from Vandenberg Air Force Base. And I saw it in the sky at dusk separating. And to be honest, on Twitter, I posted, "Lock up your daughters, they have arrived." It didn't get many laughs back then. Thank you for laughing though. No one really knew what was going on. I thought maybe it was a helicopter. It could have been aliens. I didn't really know. Anyways, I found out it was SpaceX, this rocket in the sky. And SpaceX is Elon Musk. So I'd heard about Elon Musk. I'd read some articles. I knew about Tesla, but I didn't know the scope of SpaceX. So full disclosure, I did not follow NASA as a child. Don't hate me. Don't hate me. So since then, I started watching rocket launches, okay? Is anybody familiar with everyday astronaut, Tim Dodd? Anybody? Lots of Tim Dodd fans? There you go, Tim. Thank you so much for inspiring us all. He inspired me to start live streaming. and watching the rocket launches, okay? So then I started live streaming myself, watching the rocket launches. And then I saw Falcon Heavy. Does anybody know about Falcon Heavy? Yeah. And the Tesla Roadster with Starman, which we've got Stargirl, Space Girl in the audience, Ash Martian right there. These are my friends, by the way. And that's another thing. This community of people that I've met through the mission of Multiplanetary and electric vehicles, Elon Musk, these people are my friends because of that. And it has brought new life to me. And it's just amazing. Anyways, so I saw Falcon Heavy. I saw the deployment of the Tesla Roadster, the red Tesla Roadster with Starwoman, into the sky, and that was it. I mean, that was it. And I started watching every single launch, and then let's see, 2021, I went down to Starbase. I went for serial number 9. It didn't launch. I had to go back to Phoenix. So I went back down for serial number 10. It launched, it landed, and then what did it do? Yeah, it had a rapid unscheduled disassembly, RUD. And coolest part about that is, as being interviewed by a local news channel there, they said, "You're a part of history." I said, "I'm a part of history." And then it exploded. It exploded. You know what made the news? The explosion, not the interview. It's okay though. So I went back to Phoenix, and my heart was still in Texas. I can't explain it. I have no idea. My heart was still in Texas. Some things happened in Phoenix. I had to move out of a rental property. So I crowdfunded for down payment on a RV travel trailer on GoFundMe.com. I raised about $7,000, which is amazing. Thank you so much to anybody who contributed. And that is now my home. Now I live in Brownsville in Starbase, Texas. So all of those things happened in order for me to get to Texas to film the rocket progress. Everything happens for a reason, is my theory. And I'm just really excited to bring you all this kind of content on an almost daily basis. It's a lot of standing around, hurry up and waiting, but it's really exciting. And people, how old are you right here? How? 11? 11 years old. Would you go to Mars? She said yes. Did you see that? Did you see that stream? We've got a future Martian here. Future Martian right here. Can we have a round of applause for the future Martian? Yes, go girl. Inspiring young people is something that is really important to me. I wish that I had somebody to look towards, that inspired me to let out my inner geek when I was a kid, but I didn't. And so I hope to inspire folks like you and people all over the world to just kind of be excited about the future, because the future is really exciting. And honestly, I need something to look forward to in the morning when I get out of bed. So yeah, I know that doesn't really, it's kind of an all over the place explanation, but this is my very first talk. I appreciate you all listening and joining in. And yeah, does anybody have any questions for me? We have some time, I think. Where's Sophie? Sorry, there's a microphone right there if you want to go back up there. I'm just going to sit down and have a little talk here. How are we doing, chat? There's 69 people on chat. Of course there is. That's so funny. All right. Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. What is your first name? Bob. What?
So the question is what happens if they shut down in Texas and move down to Florida? Will you be going south?
That is a great question. That's a great question, and that's a common question. I'm not exactly sure where I'll be, But for now, at least at Elon's Starship update presentation on February 6th of this year, I was there in person with the full stack. It was majestic. And I actually asked the question to Elon, and he answered. It's on my YouTube, him answering my question. How much will Cape Canaveral be used versus Starbase? And his answer was this. He said that Starbase will continue to be a prototyping place. So there's testing. They're continuously, rapidly prototyping the ships. Also, they will be duplicating what is at Starbase. So Starbase will remain. It will remain, and they're now building the Star Factory. My theory in Starbase is it's a prototype city for Mars. And I call, when I'm out there live streaming, I wear these boots to protect me from the mosquitoes and the mud, and I've got gloves that protect me from the sun and everything. I call it boot camp for Mars. So Starbase will remain, and they will duplicate the facilities that are in Starbase in Cape Canaveral. And he ended his response to my statement with, what is it? What's the word? Duplication is key, or there's a word. Anyways, so yes, that's a really good question. Starbase will remain. So I'm not sure where I'll be, but you can find out if you follow me on my YouTube channel. Just saying. Does anybody else have a question? Questions. How are we doing? Check.
Good, because I happen to be Czech as well. My name is Stan. I came from New Jersey.
Yes.
The Electric Vehicle Association. Thank you for entertaining us. I was very intrigued about the title of your presentation, and my thinking is, let me detach it. That doesn't help much. I'm thinking, what is the true merit of the multiplanetary mission? Is it that we are exercising our abilities, improving our technology, or is it that we are expecting that we can eventually be in a different planet?
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe, what if maybe we will just learn that we are so blessed that we have this planet, and that it's so much easier to actually keep the planet alive for us and for the future generations, rather than trying to restore life in a planet that doesn't even have water, that doesn't have any atmosphere, and that is just that place for centuries to come, or maybe billions of years. What do you think?
I appreciate your question, and thank you for joining us from New Jersey, by the way. That's quite the trek. And you said your name is Stan? Stan. So that's a really common question, and I appreciate that very much. I'm going to give you my opinion, just my opinion, okay? My opinion is probably all three of what you said, all three of those statements. I think that Elon's vision for Mars is a plan B. Okay, so we have plan A, which is Earth, and Earth is lovely, and we love Earth, and we want to protect Earth, and we want to capture the carbon out of the air and slow the emissions and to transition to sustainable energy. We're at a conference for home energy and electric vehicles. Sorry, I keep bopping in my moving. And this is sustainable energy. He wants to make Earth better by the transition, lower emissions and carbon and all of that, become carbon neutral. But our plan B for humans and human beings is Mars. It is close enough to Earth. Sure, it needs some work. He calls it a fixer-upper of a planet, which I think is pretty funny. And he has lots of visions in place for how it can become a sustainable place for humans to live. And it's going to be, I think within the next 10 years, there'll be humans landing there in starships, which is pretty cool. And I hope to be on board. But real quick, just to kind of sum it up, I think that it's all three. I think it's great to develop technology. I think it's great to make the Earth better for people who want to stay on Earth. Some people want to go to Mars, but they don't want to stay. They want to come back. And some people are not interested at all. So I think it's nice. What we don't know is if a meteor hits the Earth, or something happens, the sun expands way more quickly. I know you're laughing. What? Okay. I'm not sure how to answer your question. Anyways, it's a plan B for humans to expand multiplanetary. I hope that kind of answers your question, but it sounds like it doesn't. But that's okay. If you follow along on my channel, maybe you can learn a little bit more. 5 minutes. Yes.
So when start, it's on. All right.
Yeah. What is your first name?
Kevin.
Kevin. What's up, Kevin?
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you.
So when Star City is established, what cocktail do you get involved?
I'm sorry, one more time.
So when Star City is established, what cocktail will you request at the bar?
Oh my gosh, that's a really great question. We actually have a friend who works for SpaceX and is a mixologist, and she's created some pretty cool cocktails. I don't know. I'm not much of a drinker, but what would you want on Mars?
Be a little corny, but cosmopolitan.
Cosmopolitan. Hey, I love it. I love it. I love it.
Thanks, Jessica.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Anybody else? Got to wrap this. Anybody? Yeah, there he is. Hi. What is your first name?
My first name is Paula.
Yes, and you're visiting from?
I'm here. San
Yeah.
Diego. I'm here. What has been your most memorable launch that you witnessed so far? Or your favorite?
That's a great question. Thank you so much. I would definitely have to say SN10. Standing on the beach with thousands of people. There were kids, adults, elderly people, all with their hands in the air like this, celebrating together. It was a really beautiful moment of humans. It was amazing. They had done it. They had landed the prototype. Even though it exploded, it was awesome. But Falcon Heavy really was the most memorable. I was not there in person, but I still carry around a Tesla Roadster with me, so with Starman. Anybody else? And I think we've got to wrap this. But thank you so much, everybody. My name is Jessica Kirsh. You can find me youtube.com/Jessica Kirsh. Thank you.